This is the Jose Soto Show. You are listening to Jose Soto. Uh, you know, I've been receiving comments and a lot of feedback. Some of it good, some of it bad, whatever. But there are people out there, I don't believe this. There are people out there who really have a problem with me criticizing Mittens Romney. Why? Well, first of all, comprehend this for those of you who criticize me. Those of you who have a penny twisted up your anus, you are the type that goes out there and says freedom of speech for Chick-fil-A, freedom of speech for the bigots, freedom of speech for everything that is basically, I don't know, contrary to American ideals, values, and all that stuff. What do you think is an American value? Do you think that fighting against your own American citizens, saying that gay Americans are in fact a threat to this nation, because that's what your side is saying. And you can give me whatever excuse you want. You can point out to all the things that you want to point out, but you cannot negate the fact. You cannot ignore it that people on your side, conservative, right-wing, reactionary, Southern Confederate, Dixiecrats, your side is filled with people who have an anti-American, anti-union, and when I mean union, I don't mean unions, I mean the Union of the United States of America, who have since the Civil War are trying to combat the American system. And that's what we have today. We are facing, yes, economic problems and all that. We are. But the reason why that's happening is because we have, yes, in office, a president that's very incompetent. I will agree with that. To some extent, Obama. He's nothing but a plug. A butt plug. Right now, you're suffering tremendous diarrhea. Let's just say that. Let's have this diarrhea analogy. Let's say that the country is suffering from severe diarrhea of the economy. Right now, what's saving our asses from embarrassment, as far as shitting in our underwear, having a huge shit stain, is that we have ourselves a butt plug in our anus. And we're able to stop the diarrhea from flowing out of our assholes and onto our pretty little clothes. Once the shit hits the fan, it's over. And instead of actually curing the illness that's causing the symptoms of diarrhea, as what we should be doing since the start of this administration, is that Obama was only able to be a plug, a butt plug. And Romney Mittens, he wants to just go ahead and unplug your asshole and have a massive diarrhea attack. He says it's good for you. That's the ideology of the right wing. The left wing. The left wing has always said that they can cure everything, and they haven't. Why? Because they are as hijacked, as manipulated, and as strangled by the strong arm of the New York Stock Exchange, of the Wall Street criminals that will run the Federal Reserve. That's what's going on. And people always tell me, Jose, you're trying to go too far with this. Or no. You just don't want to follow along. You don't want to connect the dots. You don't want to see what's really going on, that both parties are working together. Now look what Obama has said. Obama said during the convention the DNC convention. He said that even though Republicans are right-wingers and they're semi-proto-fascist, although he didn't say that, he should have said that, Obama says he still wants to work with people like Paul Ryan to be able to instill some kind of austerity plan upon the American people. Now, if you don't know what austerity is, might as well just go ahead, go to Google, and Google Greece cuts. And you'll see what I mean. You see what I mean. And the right-wingers are all saying, well, this is all because socialism invaded Greece. No, it wasn't. It was about signing up. Greece didn't have extreme socialism. That was part of it. Yes, I would agree, because socialism was basically invented by the same oligarchs of the banks in the international banking cartel that are out there promoting this libertarian Austrian economics, that the rich are the ones that make the rules, and the rest of us get to submit to those rules. I mean, that's basically the ideology. And they also invented something called socialism, in which you get people dependent on you, on the rich, and then whenever you feel like it, you cut them off. You initiate austerity on demand, and you cut people at their throats, and you let them die. It's committing genocide. And right now there's genocide going on in Greece, and the people protesting in Greece. And so American people, we need to sort of wake up on this and say, look, this might happen to us. If we don't wake up and actually stop the austerity that both Obama and Romney want to do, but Romney is going to get us into a whole lot of trouble. That's what's going to happen. I don't like Obama. Be honest with you, I don't. I mean, I've said that many times. I have a video on YouTube that I made, I don't know, the day that he was the day he was inaugurated, and I said, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. And the Republicans are saying, it hasn't worked, but we are going to make it so fucked up by implementing the same Bush policies in the foreign affairs area, having these angry, fucking moronic pieces of shit, neocons, like John Bolton. That guy was a really fuck up. He was a nut. He's a fuck up in the head, and he's going to continue to be a fuck up. And I don't care if he's pro-gay, I don't give a shit. If you are a temperamental fuck up, a person that doesn't care that you represent the America that we should, the American image, if you go out there and you fuck up our image and you make other people laugh at us, you shouldn't be involved in politics. You shouldn't be involved anywhere near the UN, near any summit, or near any embassy. I don't care what you say, but people like John Bolton, who is now behind Romney, who's now Romney's number one guy in foreign relations. I mean, we're so fucked up because these guys want a fucking war with Iran. They want a war with Iran. They want to destroy peace on this planet. They want World War IV. We already had a World War III. People disagree with me on that. I don't care. The Cold War was the Third World War. You're going to have to say that. I mean, look what happened in Korea, Vietnam, inside China, Afghanistan, the first war in Afghanistan. So I don't know why people, Cubans, evangelicals, why these people are supporting this numbskull, Mitt Romney. I mean, if you think Obama was really stupid, this guy is totally, he should be in the straitjacket. I mean, what the fuck is he talking about? Now, what got me really talking about this today is I read this, I read about this event that he was at in Florida, and he was talking, and he said something. He said the most stupidest thing, probably even more stupid than what George Bush ever said. And the reason why I say that is because at least George Bush was like an honest idiot, like. But this guy is mischievous. I mean, this guy is so fucking arrogant, and it's not the money. It's not the money. It's part because of his religion. Because I mean, the Mormon religion tells you that you're number one, baby. You're special, and the Gentiles and everybody else that's not Mormon, we're all screw ups. We're all gonna be damned. I mean, that's what they believe. And they had this theology, this oath of vengeance, and you should be able to research that. Go on Google and research it. People don't believe me. I cannot bore you to death on little details that reading books and all that. I'm not here to read a book in front of you. I'm here to tell you what I know, and for you to read that book on your own. And there are many books. There are many, not just books, but there are pages and pages of information on the internet that verifies independently of what I've said, that the Mormon religion has always been against the American people. And why do you want now a person that embodies that theology to be heading the most important executive job in the American government? Why do you want that? I mean, and we've already have Mormons left and right heavily invading our government in the judicial branch, the CIA, the FBI. They go up and down the ladder. You'll find Mormons in every position. And why is that? Because Bush put them there. This cabal, you want to say, this Mormon cabal has been implemented since years ago. Ever since Reagan, this has been going on. And now you see the Vatican also getting involved and getting so friendly with the Mormon church, with Salt Lake City. And you know what's so funny about that is that the immigrants here in Arizona where I live, they're all against Mitt Romney. They're all against Republicans and proto-fascists, and I agree with them. Yes, we don't need this proto-fascist within our state government or national government. But here we are. We're talking about Mitt Romney and how bad he is. And of course, Joe Arpaio. I don't really have anything against Joe Arpaio, but a lot of these immigrant groups, a lot of these Hispanics, Latinos are having a real hard time with Joe Arpaio. And, I always ask them and myself, is why does he always get elected then? I mean, somebody must be electing him. The voters are. And because they like the theater that they see. They like all the supposed raids that, even though more than half of them don't even get deported. And they actually believe this shit. Like, oh yeah, Joe Arpaio, he's delivering. He's not delivering. He's projecting. Okay? I mean, that's what it is. And these immigrant groups like, oh, but they're all, they have these like Catholic rituals and these. I'm nothing against those rituals. It's just that if you're going to be a surrogate for the Catholic Church and you want to be fighting for immigrant rights, you're going to have to make choices here because the Catholic Church, the Vatican, the Mormon Church work together and they both back the Republican Party. I mean, there was a bishop out there in Illinois. Go ahead and search that on Google. There are like articles about this. This bishop in Illinois, Catholic bishop, he comes out and says, "Oh no, well you're gonna have to support the Republican Party because they have a better platform. Because the platform of the Democratic Party is filled with gays and all that bullshit and abortion." I'm like, what the fuck? Hispanics and Latinos they don't really care about abortion or gay marriage or any of this. I mean, they really care about the economy, but they also really care about their relatives. I mean, that's why many Latinos who vote, they care about immigration And even though I think it shouldn't be that much of an issue, but they say, and I have many relatives who tell me this, Jose, we have relatives in Mexico, or relatives who are being deported, relatives who have children here, and families being split up and broken up because of deportation. Fine, I can see that, and I can understand why people may want some sort of immigration reform. But why would you be supporting a church? I mean, and they go to church and they do their thing and everything, but they don't realize that you're going to a fucking church that actually supports the Republican Party that hates your guts. I mean, oh God. I mean, and I try to explain this to my relatives, but they don't seem to connect anything. They're like, wait, no, that cannot be. Oh no, ay caramba. Listen to me, it's happening. Anyway, let me get to this article. But before we go there, this article is very, very interesting. Let's take a small little break, and we'll be right back after these words. Right, and we are back, and let's get to this article now. I really want to read this to you and examine this. And this article is basically an op-ed at the New York Times by Mr. Paul Krugman. And I've seen this guy before somewhere. He's a liberal. I'm not of the same variety as he is. He's an Obama supporter. But he makes really good points about Romney, though. And so, but first, the other day, somebody emailed me and said, Jose, are you now supporting Obama? I'm like, no, I'm not supporting Obama. If we have a chance to stop somebody who is worse than Obama, then we should stop him. And we should. And we should expose what this man, this Mitt Romney, who he really is. And not only is he a liar and a flip-flopper, I mean, this guy said that he was to the left of Ted Kennedy on gay rights. And now he's for for the constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage, not only that, but many other things. And then he's siding with National Organization for Marriage, and now he's getting all cozy and all fuzzy and friendly with the bishops of the Catholic Church. I mean, look it up. I mean, that's what's going on. And your average Catholic, your average Mexican Catholic doesn't know this shit, and they need to know. They need to tell their priests, their bishops, and say, hey, what the fuck is my church doing hanging out with the Republican Party? The fuck is that all about? I don't know if I want to say those exact words, but be my guest. I don't. Anyway, oh God, that piece of jalapeno came up. Ugh, sorry. I was having some nachos and guacamole, and it just ooh. I've been having these stomach problems for the last month, so. But anyway, I don't know. That's one spicy jalapeno. Now, here's what Paul Krugman said, and I sort of agree with this. And it just shows you that how stupid, moronic is Mitt Romney. I mean, look at him. I mean, he just stands there like and then there are times where he's so fucking uncomfortable with people. At least with Obama, what you have is a guy who's somewhat more comfortable, especially the vice president, Joe Biden. I mean, he's very he's too comfortable going out there and saying all that shit that he says. But look at Mitt. I mean, he's like, I mean, I don't know if that's how Mormons are. Like, they're so uncomfortable with the Gentile. Like, that's what they do. Like, he stands very stiff. He's like, don't look at me. Oh yes. But I mean, just notice how he acts with people. He tries to be funny, and he's not funny. He's nothing. I mean, he's totally not I don't connect with this guy at all. I mean, I cannot connect with a vegetable like this. He's a total brainless moron. If you thought Bush was bad, this guy is even worse. I mean, how do these stupid assholes get money? How do they do that? Oh yeah, that's right. They steal, they lie, and they cheat. Your typical asset stripper and hedge fund hyena, they love stealing from others, especially when you're broke. I mean, look what he's done in Bain Capital. I mean, you cannot have this guy as president. You cannot, not at all. Anyway, let's see what Mr. Krugman here says. Here's what he says. As many people have noticed, Romney's 5-point economic plan is very nearly substance free. And that's what I noticed. It's basically the same, for me, it's the same regurgitated bullshit that we've seen in 2000, 2004. Somehow, magically, somewhere, some money is going to appear and it's going to make things better for you. It's like my magic underwear that's going to appear in front of you and make you all happy and you're going to smile. It vaguely, and this is what Krugman says, it vaguely suggests that he will pursue the same goals Republicans always pursue. Weaker environmental protection? I don't know about that. I mean, the Democrats, what have they done for environmental protection? Nothing. I mean, what do they do? They want to have these carbon taxes and all these green shit. No, what about the toxins in the air? What about all these, what they talk about these chemtrails that we've seen so much and we heard so much about? I study that shit, and it doesn't seem that healthy. And the one thing that we never talk about is the radiation levels are skyrocketing. Nobody's talking about that. I mean, that's environmental, isn't it? But, if you see the studies, if you see, like, what's going on, the radiation is going up, and then at the same time, like a fucking symphony, the cancer rates are going up. There's some cancer that's like going up 1,000 times. I mean, like, hello, is somebody interested in knowing what's going on? Is it just me that I want to not have cancer? And I don't know. Yeah, but weaker environmental protection. I don't know. I mean, I think I disagree with this Krugman guy here. I mean, you Democrats have always when we needed you to do real environmental protection, when there's land and air and water that's been polluted by your friends who own these nice corporations, or they steal the drinking water up in Minnesota or down in Texas when they steal drinking water. Like, what's his face did that? T-Boone Pickens. Oh, yeah. Remember that guy, that oil tycoon? Oil, and what else he does? He does clean coal. Yeah, anyway, he bought all this property in Texas, and it has a huge water table, and now he basically taps it for drinking water and all this shit. So then he can he dug underneath the water table, and then he put a pipe through there, and then went through the other places around the property and sucked all the water out. Anyway, yeah, what about that environmental protection? And T-Boone Pickens, he gets a lot of protection from the Democratic Party. Weaker environmental protection, lower taxes on the wealthy. But it offers neither specifics nor any indication why returning to George W. Bush's policies would cure a slump that began on Bush's watch. And that's true. Very true, 100%. But then, what's going on underneath or under Obama's watch? I mean, he's had 4 fucking years to do something about this. Besides putting a plug in the asshole. Maybe we should cure the diarrhea. How about that? Maybe he should get on the phone with Ben Bernanke and say, hey Ben, how are you? Listen here, we have to stop with all this printing money and giving it to the banks. What I need is you have to give me $2 trillion in credit and a new what's it called? Quantitative easing, QE as it's widely known. We need a new one, but this time we're gonna give it to the producers of this country, to factories, building roads and buying bonds from counties and states and all that. I mean, that's what we need to do. I mean, he doesn't do anything. He just sits there. So yeah, that happened. If we return to the Bush policies that Romney wants, yeah, of course, we're gonna have massive problems here. But Obama hasn't really fixed any of these problems. In his meeting with donors in Boca Raton, Florida, however, Romney revealed his real plan, which is to rely on magic. And now this is where it gets really, really pathetic. My own view is, he declared, if we win, listen to this, if we win on November 6th, there will be a great deal of optimism about the future of this country. We'll see capital come back, and we'll see, without actual doing, this is what he says. Oh my God, I can't believe he says this. We will see capital come back, and we'll see, without actually doing anything. You do nothing. You just basically sit on your fucking ass. We'll actually get a boost in the economy. This is what he said. What a fucking moron. And you know what? Of course, the right-wingers, the Limbaughs, the Hannitys, the Levins, they're all gonna love this shit. They're gonna swallow this shit like it was a big old fucking cock. They're gonna swallow it. They're gonna jerk it off and swallow its semen. I mean, that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, it's good that we do nothing. We're the do-nothings. Can't be. The economy is not gonna fix with you just sitting there. It needs to be resuscitated. You think that if you see somebody choking to death, you'll be, wait a minute, let me just sit here and see what happens. Maybe he's gonna, maybe if I sit on my hands, maybe he'll stop choking to death. Maybe that's what we need to do. I mean, I can't believe this. How can we in a civil society be saying this kind of shit? What a fucking numbskull this guy is. Without actually doing anything, he says. Oh, without doing anything, just if you vote for me, things will get better. Well, gee, who said that? Oh, Obama said that. Remember when Obama got elected that night? People were saying, oh yeah, thank goodness Obama got elected. I'm going to save my house now. I'm going to get a free car. I'm going to get all this shit. And guess what happened? Nothing happened. It's all based on fucking illusions. Stupidity. How about that? Oh my God, I can't believe this. I mean, and it's making me sick to my stomach. I don't know why. It's probably all that jalapeno I had. Golly. Probably I need some Pepto-Bismol after I'm done with this shit. Jeez Louise. And this is what Krugman says. He says, in fairness to Romney... No, there's no fairness to Romney. What the fuck are you talking about, Krugman? It's just ridiculous. He doesn't need any fairness. What's so fair about saying, without actually doing anything? He said he's not going to do anything for you, shit. He's not going to do shit for anybody. It's over. It's done. He's lost the election right here for me, folks. I can't have somebody like this. Can you? Can you actually envision somebody like this in the White House? Says, you know what? My solution is let's just do nothing. Sit here and just play poker or solitaire. Play another round of golf. A president should be on the phone constantly. We need a president that acts like a boss. We don't need somebody that is a blood-sucking vampire like Romney or a doofus like Obama. We don't need that. But I mean, the American people don't really care. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know why this is happening. Why this nightmare is becoming a reality. I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyway, let's take a short little break and we'll be right back after these words. All right, now, and let's continue on with this Krugman article or op-ed. In fairness to Romney, his assertion that electing him would spontaneously spark an economic boom is consistent with his party's current economic dogma. Republican leaders have long insisted that the main thing holding the economy back is the uncertainty created by President Barack Obama's statements. Roughly speaking, the business people aren't investing because Obama has hurt their feelings. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I've been observing. So, isn't this kind of stupid that business people, investors, I mean, what the fuck? Who are you to hijack the economy? I mean, it's just ridiculous that of course, and of course, the Republicans are having a field day. They're saying, yeah, of course, the business people, the investors, they're all with us. Basically, they are speaking on behalf of a few people, not on behalf of the American people. And you know, it's funny that conservatives will yell and scream and banter and ejaculate into their own mouths. Ugh. They'll do all this shit in the name of supposed democracy. They'll say, oh no, no. If we have gay marriage, the people have to have a voice. The people, they have a will on this. Yeah, right. They don't care about that. They don't care about democracy, marriage, or any of that stupid nonsense. They care about is power. And the people who are behind them, because these people are Muppets, these right-wingers, all these political hacks, they're masters or controllers in Wall Street. They're going to push them to, push them down your throat because they say, oh yes, let's get the American people at each other's throats. Let's get the straights or the Christians versus the gays. Let's get the whites against the blacks. Let's get all this happening. Meanwhile, while they're doing that, we'll just go over here and do our plan. While the little kids out there are fighting with each other over who gets to play with the toys, we, the adults, are going to make decisions at 2 o'clock in the morning that will affect your lives and the lives of the American people. And I don't know. It just, to me, it seems pretty ridiculous that people, just because they get their feelings hurt, they don't like Obama. Fuck Obama. Just do it. People are complaining that I haven't seen a real hardcore change within the government or out here anywhere. That, oh no, now I see socialism. Now it's communism. Now it's total takeover. Look, the only thing I've seen so far is since the beginning of this millennium, we've seen the increase of the police state. We've seen a lot of these weird things going on, though. The TSA groping people and all that. Yeah, that's a problem. But that's something that's been starting since the 90s, since the 80s. And it's a progressive thing. I mean, well, not really progressive, but it's Progressive in the bad way. Anyway, let's see what. And here's what Krugman says. Roughly speaking, the business people aren't investing because Obama has hurt their feelings. If you believe that, it makes sense to argue that changing presidents would, all by itself, cause an economic revival. No, it doesn't. I mean, look at Bush. Right after he got elected, there was a little crash there in the year in 2001, right before 9/11. There is, however, no evidence supporting this dogma. Our protracted, our protracted economic weakness isn't a mystery. It's what normally happens after a major financial crisis. Furthermore, business investment has actually recovered fairly strongly since the official recession ended. Well, we're not in a recession, Krugman. We are in a depression. I mean, that's the reality there. What's holding us back is mainly the continued weakness of housing combined with the vast overhang of household debt, the legacy of the Bush-era housing bubble. Partly true and partly not true. I mean, the main thing that's over our heads right now is the derivatives, and all this fake debt that the bankers have created, and of course they sign us up for that. I mean, they have basically at gunpoint have taken hostage the taxpayer and said, look, we are responsible for all this debt, even though we're not. It's like if I buy a car and I finance it and I tell my neighbor, hey, now you're gonna pay my bills, bitch. Now you're gonna pay my car payments because I say so, because I have a gun. By the way, Krugman says, in saying that our prolonged slump is predictable, I'm not saying that it was necessary. We could and we should have greatly reduced the pain by combining aggressive fiscal and monetary policies with effective relief for highly indebted homeowners. Well, yeah, we can always have a freeze, but why hasn't Obama done that? A freeze and a moratorium on foreclosures and all that. That way you could have saved the housing market right off the bat. We could have saved the housing market right off the bat. People would have stayed in their homes. Families would have had a roof over their heads. Oh, you're pro-family? You're pro-family, you say? Well, why don't you support this idea? Oh, no, we can't have that. No, we can't. You can't pay the bill? You lost your job? Yeah, you have a reduced salary? Who cares? The bankers rule. You drool. And you roll over. Roll over while we mow you down, you typical heterosexual family. We're gonna get down here, we're gonna screw you in the ass so bad. It's even gonna make any gay guy squirm. I mean, that's what they believe. I mean, these conservatives, you think conservatives are pro-family? You actually believe that lie? Please. My dick is more pro-family than this shit. Whatever. But Romney, as I said, isn't offering anything substantive to fight the slump, just a reprise of the usual slogans. And he has denounced the Fed's belated effort to step up to the plate. Back to the optimism thing, it's true that some studies suggest a secondary role for uncertainty is depressing the economy. And conservatives have seasoned these studies claiming vindication. But if we actually look at the measures of uncertainty involved, they've been driven not by fear of Obama, but by the events like the Euro crisis and the standoff over the debt ceiling. And so, I mean, these are the things that are causing some uncertainty. But, I mean, look at what's going on in fucking Europe. that's really just the shit really hit the fan over there, and it did. And yeah, I understand why some people might be, but that's the job of the Federal Reserve. That's why we have a Federal Reserve, is to create a lot of cushion monetarily to ensure that what's going on in Europe will not infect what is going on over here. Basically, it's there to inoculate our economy. Put it in Linus terms. You should also know that efforts to base policy on speculations about business psychology have a track record, and it's not a good one. Back in 2010, as European nations began implementing savage austerity programs to placate bond markets, it was common for policymakers to deny that these programs would have a depressing effect. The idea that austerity measures could trigger stagnation is incorrect, insisted Jean-Claude Trichet, then the president of the European Central Bank. Why? Because these measures would increase the confidence of households, firms, and investors. At the time, which is Krugman, ridiculed such claims as belief in the confidence fairy. And sure enough, austerity programs actually led to depression-level economic downturns across much of Europe. Yet here comes Mitt Romney declaring in effect, "I am the confidence fairy." A fairy indeed. Confidence, I don't have any confidence in this guy at all. I don't. I really don't. But we're being told, oh yeah, he's a businessman, and if somebody is a businessman, okay, I'll give you that. So would that mean that you can hire the guy that owns the dry cleaners down the street, hire him as the next president of the United States? He's a businessman. He might overcharge you some few times, like my dry cleaners do. I mean, they overcharge me all the time. Oh, but the dry cleaners, at least, they own a business, right? Yeah. Why don't they become president of the United States? This whole notion that you have to be a businessman, that's really stupid. What you have to be is somebody that really, really understands the American system and the American way, understands our history, and knows that if you fuck things up, what will happen. Somebody that's really serious about what's going to be done. I mean, there's nobody serious out there. I mean, Mittens, look at this fucking guy. He's fucking depressing. And, no wonder he's not getting up there with the polls. And I don't know. And you have Drudgy and all these other conservative sites, saying, wait a minute, it's all getting better. Mitt Romney, he's getting up there with the polls and all that. No, he's not. Anyway, but people are asking me, what do I predict? What's my prediction for this election? I don't know. My prediction, if Romney gets elected, things will be so shitty, more than what they are right now. And if Obama wins, good luck in trying to get anything done. That's my prediction. And we're fucked as a nation. Although we could save ourselves, we don't need these people. There are many ways to do so. But without that credit, without the Federal Reserve printing what we need to do, printing the adequate money, and to give it to at 0% interest, not to the banks, to their own buddies in Wall Street or any of that shit, or in commodities trading or any of that. What you need to do is put in factories. Put it back in Detroit, where we can have, our auto industry back. What happened to that? Why don't we have our own auto industry anymore? It's dead. We have now Mercedes, the European cars. We have the Asian cars. They're ruling us. They're taking over. I mean, look at us. I mean, we are the country that sent a man to the moon, and yet we cannot even build a car anymore. That's how pathetic we have become. And until you realize that, maybe it will motivate you to actually do something about it. I mean, spread the word and say to people, hey, we need to be resistant against anything. It doesn't matter who's in the office, Mittens Romney or Obama or whoever it is. They're going to try to commit austerity against the American people. They're going to try to do things to us. Because you might say, well, the austerity is against those who have welfare. Believe me, it's going to affect you as well. I mean, the reason why there isn't all these mass rioting here in this country, and there should have been, is because we have the social safety net. And I know libertarians, they hate the social safety net, but you got to realize it. And many libertarians would agree with me that without the social safety net, there won't be much of a country. And so you can't really, I mean, unless you want to live in like a fucking cannibal, I mean, people need to eat. We cannot have people starving to death. We are America. We are the most richest country in the fucking world. Why can't we have a system that is so productive? We can have entrepreneurship, business, we can have all of it. And for those who cannot take care of themselves, yes, we need to have a social safety net. Every civilized nation has one. If you don't want one, then just look at places like Uganda. Uganda is a very conservative country, by the way. Not only do they try to kill gays over there, like they want to do in many other places. This conservative manifesto. But they have the same economics. We'll pay you a few shingles a day for a hard day's work. But if you marry into money, you're born into money, then you're privileged. You don't have to work like everybody else. You don't have to learn anything about anything. All you have to do is wait for daddy to give you your weekly allowance, and then you can go and buy your Lamborghini and do whatever you want. Be happy for yourself. And people that, I have nothing against sports cars, or I love Lamborghinis. I love all those cars, Ferraris and everything. But I want to buy one because I earned my money to buy it. Because I didn't have daddy come in, or my boyfriend, whoever, and bought it for me. What the fuck is that? Be a fucking man and own your shit. I mean, talk about being socialistic. I mean, that's really socialistic right there, what many rich families do. So I don't really believe that, Mitt Romney, he's just like you and me. He's misunderstood. No, he's not. He's a sneaky little weasel. Well, he's trying to be, but he's fucking up in every corner. So, no, we don't need this guy. We already have enough problems with the one guy that we already have in the White House. I don't know why should we have more problems with even a more crazier, unstable man like this Numbskull, Mitt Romney. I don't know why. Anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and cut it short today. I'm so tired, actually. And so I'm going to cut it short. And if you wish to follow me on Twitter, please do so. You're welcome to do so. On Twitter, my Twitter feed is The Real Jose Soto. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jose Soto Show. And we'll see you next time. This is The Jose Soto Show. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'm Jose Soto. Take care.